Welcome to NewsBeacon, your trusted source for breaking headlines, global insights, and sharp analysis from around the world. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. In a landmark decision that will be studied for years to come, the Supreme Court has struck down the Trump administration's sweeping tariffs on imported goods, sending shockwaves through the nation's legal and economic systems. This historic ruling fundamentally alters the landscape of American trade policy, reshaping how the United States interacts with the global economy and how it protects its own industries. The decision dismantles a core element of the America First agenda, signaling a major shift in the balance of presidential power over international trade and raising questions about the limits of executive authority. This decision reverberates through global markets, causing immediate reactions from investors and trading partners, and forces the nation to reconsider its economic direction in a rapidly changing world. For years, these tariffs sparked fierce debate. Some saw them as vital protection for American jobs and manufacturing, while others viewed them as a costly burden for consumers and a source of tension with allies. The case, American Importers Alliance versus United States, raised crucial questions that go to the heart of American democracy. How much authority should a president have over trade? And what checks should exist on that power? Where does Congress's power end? And how should the balance between the legislative and executive branches be maintained in matters of economic policy? The court's answer sets a powerful new precedent, effectively ending the Trump tariff era and launching a new chapter in U.S. economic policy that will influence future presidents and lawmakers. Now, the nation faces tough choices about its economic identity, its role in the world, and how it will navigate relationships with both allies and competitors on the global stage. The story of the Trump tariffs is over, but the debate about America's future in the world economy is just beginning, and the decisions made now will shape generations to come. To grasp the Supreme Court's decision, we need to revisit why the tariffs existed. President Trump made trade a central issue, arguing that unfair deals cost American jobs and industries. His solution: tariffs, taxes on imports, to make foreign goods pricier and boost U.S. manufacturing. The administration used laws like Section 232 of the Trade Expansion Act, citing national security, and Section 301 to target China for unfair practices. Supporters saw tariffs as overdue protection for American workers and leverage for better deals. Critics warned they would backfire, raising costs for U.S. manufacturers and consumers, and provoking retaliation against American exports. The result was a divided nation. Some hailed tariffs as a defense of sovereignty. Others saw them as a self-inflicted wound. The policy's legacy? A trade war with China, higher prices, and deep political rifts. The Supreme Court's intervention now closes this contentious chapter. The question: what comes next for American trade? The legal fight against Trump's tariffs began almost immediately after they were announced, sparking a wave of litigation that would ripple through the courts for years. Businesses and importers, feeling the pinch of increased costs, quickly moved to challenge the president's authority in court, arguing that the tariffs were an overreach of executive power. Plaintiffs contended that the power to regulate foreign commerce and levy taxes is constitutionally vested in Congress, not the president acting unilaterally. The administration, however, defended its actions by citing broad discretion under national security laws, though critics dismissed this as a mere pretext for economic protectionism. Initial court rulings seemed to favor the executive branch, but as cases were consolidated and reached higher courts, judges began to scrutinize the limits of presidential power more closely. The core argument revolved around whether the president could declare any import a security threat, effectively rendering Congress's constitutional role in trade policy meaningless. Conflicting decisions from lower courts created a legal quagmire, setting the stage for a crucial Supreme Court review. The American Importers Alliance, representing a broad coalition of affected businesses, petitioned the court, arguing that the stakes were too high to leave the issue unresolved. Recognizing the profound constitutional and economic implications, the Supreme Court agreed to hear the case, marking a pivotal moment in U.S. legal history. The impending showdown would pit presidential power against congressional authority, with the future of U.S. trade policy hanging precariously in the balance. The outcome of this landmark case would redefine the boundaries of executive action in trade, setting a precedent for future administrations. As the nation held its breath, everyone awaited the final answer that would shape the course of American governance and commerce. The Supreme Court zeroed in on a few pivotal questions. Did Congress give away too much power to the president in trade laws like Section 232? That's the non-delegation doctrine at stake. What does national security really mean? Military threats or broader economic concerns? The government argued for broad presidential authority. Challengers warned this erased limits on executive power. The justices also debated whether courts should intervene in political disputes over trade or defer to the president. At the heart, the balance of power, the meaning of national security, and the judiciary's role in checking the executive. The Supreme Court, in a 6-3 decision, ruled the broad use of tariffs under Section 232 unconstitutional. The majority, led by Chief Justice Roberts, said Congress had handed too much legislative power to the president without clear limits. National security can't justify tariffs on nearly anything. It must relate to direct threats to defense capabilities. The ruling doesn't strike down Section 232 entirely, but narrows its use to genuine security risks. Tariffs on steel and aluminum from allies are invalidated, and future presidents face a much higher bar. The dissent warned this could weaken the president's ability to respond to threats, but the majority insisted Congress must set clear rules. The decision reasserts Congress's constitutional role in trade and taxation. The message, no more blank checks for the executive on economic policy. The end of the tariffs brings immediate relief to U.S. businesses reliant on imports. After years of higher costs and uncertainty, companies can finally plan ahead with more confidence. Lower costs mean more investment and jobs, especially for small and medium firms that struggle to compete. Freed from the burden of extra fees, these businesses can expand, hire new workers, and even explore new markets. For workers, the impact is mixed. While some will see new opportunities, others may face uncertainty. Industries that rely on imported materials or components may grow, creating new jobs and boosting wages in those sectors. But domestic producers once shielded by tariffs could face layoffs and wage pressure as they adjust to increased competition from abroad. Consumers stand to benefit most. Lower prices on everyday goods will stretch household budgets further. Tariffs are taxes that raised prices on everything from cars to canned goods, making life more expensive for everyone. With tariffs gone, prices should fall, making essentials more affordable and giving families more room to save or spend elsewhere. This boost in purchasing power can help ease the sting of inflation and support a stronger economy overall. Farmers, hit hard by foreign retaliation, have struggled to sell their crops and products overseas. Now they may regain access to key export markets as other countries lift their own tariffs, opening doors for American agriculture. The ruling could help repair strained trade relationships, encouraging more cooperation and stability in global markets. This could restore U.S. agricultural exports and bring hope to rural communities. Not everyone wins, though. Some communities dependent on protected industries will face new challenges as they adapt to a more competitive environment. The overall effect is a rebalancing, lower costs and more competition across the board, but also tough adjustments for some sectors, requiring support and retraining for affected workers. As industries shift, workers and businesses will need to adapt, learning new skills and finding new opportunities. The decision reshapes the economic landscape for businesses, workers, and families alike, setting the stage for a new chapter in American commerce. America's next steps will determine who thrives in this new era and how the nation moves forward together. The Supreme Court's decision has split experts and leaders. Business groups and free trade advocates cheered the ruling as a win for growth and stability. Labor unions and protectionists condemned it, warning of job losses and a flood of cheap imports. The Biden administration struck a cautious tone, promising to review the decision and protect American workers through other means. Allies like Canada and the EU welcome the move as a step toward normalizing trade relations. Globally, the world is watching to see if the US returns to free trade or just pauses before the next trade fight. The ruling has reignited America's trade debate, exposing deep divisions. Supporters celebrate lower prices and relief for small businesses, seeing the decision as common sense. In manufacturing towns, anger and fear run high. Many feel abandoned and worry about job losses. Online, the debate rages. Is this a win for consumers or a blow to American workers? The decision highlights how trade policy is about more than economics. It's about identity, values, and the nation's future. The legal fight is over, but the political and cultural battle over trade is far from settled. With the Supreme Court's decision in place, the next chapter begins. Congress faces pressure to rewrite trade laws, clarifying how much power the president should have over tariffs. Expect fierce debate. Free traders want strict limits. Protectionists want flexibility. The White House must pivot, using new tools, targeted enforcement, alliances, and industrial policy to advance its agenda. The ruling forces a national reckoning. Should America embrace globalization or protect its own? How can the nation support workers hurt by global competition without sparking new trade wars? The answers will be forged in Congress, the White House, and communities nationwide. The path chosen now will shape America's prosperity and security for years to come. The future of U.S. trade policy is up for grabs, and the world is watching.